Hey everyone, Vince here from the Dowd podcast. This week we're going to be talking about David Warner and his passing, a couple other celebrities that have passed recently, their works, and then we'll just kind of roll with whatever the topic is after that point. So we hope you enjoy. Which brings me into the whole thing, so Sunday David Warner passed?
Yeah. Great actor. Classic bad guy character.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, man. Tron, Time Bandits. Classic. Chef's kiss. Great stuff. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. So David, what is one of the things that we know him from that's animated wise?
That's what I was about to say. The majority of his filmography that I'm the most familiar with is his voice acting, right? Like he's definitely one of those guys that has a very distinctive voice whenever you hear it come across. And none of them was any more distinctive or I saw any more of than him dealing with the detective Bruce Wayne as Ra's al Ghul.
Yes.
Right? And to this day, much like Mark Hamill, is the voice of Joker, all that, he definitely had a great voice and presence even through that as Roz or Raish or however you want to pronounce it. But I was flipping through his filmography because I can hear his voice in my head, and he's just so many characters, just all throughout all kinds of animated features that I realized that another one that stuck out was the Loeb in Freakazoid.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And
yeah. So I mean, it's funny too. Is like I remember the first thing I remember him in would have been Turtles 2, of course. Which is sad because he would have been originally in the script and what they had designed. He was going to be one of the cranks. The Utrom would have been inside of him and stuff. So he would have been a synthetic robot body with the human flesh and everything. So, which then got canceled. So we got this different character that we got, but it's funny because one of the movies I probably first watched him in was Time Bandits.
I still need to get on that one.
oh man.
And then
I think it's on HBO.
Is it on HBO?
I believe it's on HBO. I was looking through it the other day at some movies and stuff, and I think I saw it on there. And when I saw his passing and I realized that he was in it, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll finally use this as an excuse to, at long last, watch this movie this weekend. Because, like I said, it's one of those ones I've heard a lot of good things about. Right? It's just one of those ones that it's always eluded me for one reason or another. By the time I get around to the point of, I need to watch this movie, wherever it was streaming free is now gone. And I'm like, well, I could go and pay $3 to Amazon to watch it, or I could watch something else for free. And I just always divert to the other one. So now I'll hopefully finally stop procrastinating and get it done.
I have it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Then you can just go get it on Blu-ray.
Right?
The Blu-ray is magnificent.
I should have just done that anyway. There's a bunch of movies that if I hear enough good things, or if it's a director or something that I know is solid enough, then I usually go buy them anyway. It's just, I don't know, man. It's gonna get done. I promise.
Okay.
What if we made that the next watch party?
We could do that. Probably do it on a Saturday, because I know that some of the guys are doing some stuff too. So it's like Friday. I have the stuff in Ryan's Discord, and I'm trying to figure out how we can get it to where we can watch everything with everyone else.
Right.
Either in my Discord or in the YouTube Mafia Discord that we have going on now. But Di, what's your memories of David Warner?
Pretty much TMNT2, and I noticed that he was also in 2 of the Titanic movies. So, the popular one, and then one of the original ones, not like the original one, like the 20, I think it was, but the 79, I think it was. Once I saw that one back in the day. I actually didn't see the newer Titanic till probably a year ago. And so, I was surprised to actually see him in it, but that was cool. Of course, Tron and a bunch of other stuff. I thought he was, yeah, Ra's al Ghul and stuff, but I thought he was someone else, but I looked it up and he wasn't, so I was wrong about that. But yeah, no, I definitely would have liked to see him. It would have been cool if he got into more anime stuff. That would have been really cool. But he was a good actor, excellent actor.
Yeah, he was.
Oh yeah, and then it's funny too. Just something to add. And this is another recommendation of a movie that he was in, and he plays a villain in it. And it was just one of the ones that I think I watched like early mid 2000s because I was just of course I love film, so I was just trying to find anything I could. But I saw a movie called Time After Time.
Oh,
he plays Jack the Ripper in that one.
Judging by the title, I'm assuming it's some kind of time hopping movie.
Yes, it's a time hopping movie. It's got Malcolm McDowell as the main character.
Oh well,
of course he plays H.G. Wells.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah. There's actually quite a few actors in that movie that you'll recognize. But yeah, very good movie. It blew my mind. I was like, man, they could totally make a sequel for this too if they wanted to.
Huh. I guess I got to add that to the list now.
And then, okay, so something else too was that there's a deleted scene for Tron Legacy that he was going to be in, or he was in, or at least he was credited in, that they never used, and which is sad because it's like Dad and I were talking about this. It's like there's movies that need certain actors to show up for if they're ever going to do a sequel for, because they're getting too old. They're gonna pass before the time happens. And so, as you know, he played Dillinger and the main villain in Tron. So it's like total missed opportunity for him being in the third film of Tron whenever that happens. Because we waited too long.
If it happens.
Maybe they could digitally add him in, like
that could work.
It could work.
Yeah.
If they go with him as Sark, they could do that.
Just don't overdo it, right? It's like I get it's cool that we can do that with technology these days, but man, some of this stuff it's really like, okay, this is getting ghoulish at a certain point.
Yeah, it is. I know, definitely.
No. 3D images at concerts where dead artists are singing on the stage. That's ghoulish. Putting them in a movie to help them revive a character that they played, that's close, but acceptable.
Yeah. I mean, with it, I think there's a certain time frame. It's like whenever they did Star Wars, the one that everybody actually liked, the
what, Carrie Fisher?
Yeah, no. With Rogue One.
Peter Cushing.
Orkin.
Peter Cushing. The man's been dead for 40 years. And out of nowhere, they're like, oh, hey, guys, Rogue One. There we go.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's like Rogue One. Walk up, you see the back of his head, and you're like, oh, cool. They're going to do like a little cameo, whatever. Of, oh, no, they're going to show Peter Cushing and have him talk. Okay, I guess we're doing this.
Hey, I mean, for what it was, it worked. But unfortunately, it's going to be one of those things where the CGI is not going to hold up.
No.
We're going to get to the point where the technology is going to get so good that it looks just like real life. But unfortunately, that scene with, Tarkin is just not going to hold up.
Well, if we want to talk about Tron and scenes not holding up, young Jeff Bridges at the beginning of Tron Legacy is rough.
Yeah, which is funny because we did talk about that previously. Now the fact that like the young Jeff Bridges was hard to swallow, but when he was Q, it worked because it was the simulation within the world.
Yeah, okay, he's digitized. I can, my brain can sell that off better than. Oh no, I'm looking at real young Jeff Bridges.
Well, you think about like the technology they use to like de-age Tony Stark in Civil War.
right?
Even that,
Yeah.
still, it's a simulation, right? That was a holographic image of him there. So,
But it still worked though. It looked better than Jeff Bridges younger.
sure. I mean, technology. I mean, if you want to go that, right? Sam Jackson was young Sam Jackson for an entire movie of Captain Marvel. So,
And maybe again.
Yeah, maybe again too. Yeah.
And with Star Wars, yeah, it might age, but they'll probably update it like whenever 8K or 9K. They'll keep updating
Yeah.
it. But they have the budget for that. Like some other lower budget movies won't have the chance to ever do that though.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Two other notable things that I was going to add that he did was Waxworks. He played the villain in that. That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Especially the sequel, but he wasn't in that one, except for the flashback scenes that kind of catch you up on what happened in the previous movie. And then his roles, he was in Star Trek. He played a Klingon in one of the movies, and then he played somebody else in another one. So
yeah,
I mean, he got around.
He had range.
He's definitely one of those guys that the second you see or you hear him, you're like, oh yeah, this guy's in a ton of stuff. You might not be able to name it right off the top of your head, but that again, just hearing him, seeing him, you just instantly can recognize that. Oh yeah, I've seen this guy in something somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
The second you look it up, you're like, oh yeah, he was great in this and he was great in that, and he's just one of those. He's a I don't know that he necessarily qualifies as a character actor specifically, but
Yeah, I would say so.
Stands out like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely say he was a character actor because he had range and he played a lot of different characters. So I think it fits.
Mm-hmm.
He could carry a movie and he could be part of a cast just as easily.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's just looking through his filmography. It's just he did a lot of stuff, and it just I think the last thing he did was what was it? Teen Titans Go,
where he reprised the Lobe.
Yep.
Which is so weird. He's coming to a DC property, but playing a character that he was in Freakazoid for, but they're all owned by Warner Brothers, so I guess it's fine and it makes sense. But yeah, I thought that was funny when I was looking through there.
Yeah, I think his last role was in Mary Poppins Returns, though, back in 2018, which I haven't seen that yet. I mean, I need to just to check it out.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So the other actor that passed away, I think yesterday, was
Paul Servino.
Mm-hmm.
Another top-notch actor.
Yeah, I mean, for me, he's always going to be most notable for his role in, even though it was just kind of one of these he just played a character, was the Rocketeer. He was one of the henchmen in that one.
He was the mobster and of course he was Paulie in Goodfellas.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that
we've lost three big time mob movie characters now. There was this guy, one of the guys, the
James Caan
from Sopranos, and Ray Liotta.
Well, James Caan too.
Yeah, James Caan. Yep.
So all the classic mob movie guys are,
Has anybody done a wellness check on Joe Pesci?
Who, James Caan?
No, I said
Joe Pesci. Anybody done a Pesci?
All these mob guys are dropping left, right, and center. Has anybody done a wellness check on Joe Pesci?
Or Robert De Niro?
We need to go check on Joe Pesci, Rob De Niro,
and Al Pacino.
And Al Pacino, yeah. So we need to find out. We need to make sure these guys are all right. I don't know what's in the water right now, but it's rough out there for ex-film mobsters.
I totally forgot he was in Dick Tracy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he played Eddie Valentine in Rocketeer.
Yeah. That was a good role. That was a good character.
Mhm. Which is another missed opportunity that we have not had another Rocketeer movie.
Oh,
Come
I
on,
know.
come on, Disney.
They're supposed to be working on one, right? Where it's going to be a Tuskegee Airman and all that other stuff to it. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Well, what they work out with it, it's definitely going to be different. They did that weird animated show where they gave the jetpack to this little girl, and
Yeah,
it was,
that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
it was kind of weird to watch this little girl catch like grown ass men. It's like, okay, guys, she's not Supergirl. She's just a girl jetpack. Like, let's calm down.
Well, enough momentum, she might break her neck trying to get somebody else and break his back.
Yeah. Yeah, the arms come clean out of the sockets, and then the man and craters into the ground.
It would have been just like the statue they try to fly the rocket with when they're testing it out in the first movie. I think we're going to need a helmet.
Yeah.
I forgot he was part Law and Order. I used to watch watch the whole series. Yeah, I forgot he was in there.
That was way back.
Yeah.
Yeah, the earlier 90s.
Again, another great character actor, right? Just showed up. Hey, we need a mafia guy who's kind of portly. Oh yeah, I know just the guy that we need. That we can get to fill that in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. Then he was in another alumni of Star Trek. He was in Next Generation.
Right.
Trying to think of some other stuff on here that was. I totally forgot about Duckman. Jeez, that show.
Then somebody else we lost but didn't lost but are going to lose is Tony Dowd.
What? Oh,
Tony Dowd,
He got
the older brother in Leave It to Beaver.
Yep.
He went
that's
on
right.
like Stargate, I believe it was. He was dead, then he wasn't dead. He's in hospice. It's a whole mess again. But yeah, he directed, I believe, several episodes of. I think it was Stargate.
Yeah, I think so. Look it up right now.
Yeah, man. Some of these folks are they're getting up there in years, and not all of them hold it that well, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, as well, Father Time and the Reaper comes for all.
Yeah.
That is the price of life. Sadly.
I think.
All right. Move your
Oh.
finger, David. I'm trying to read your cup. Oh, cool.
Oh.
Yeah, when we were in Universal, we were going around and the kids were like, "We want wizarding robes," and I'm like, "Oh God, this is well." Actually, I got screwed at Universal very quickly because we went to what's its play the name of the wands, right, where they sell the wands.
So,
Yeah, whatever. So my family has caused me to start to hate. I say start. I actively hate Harry Potter at this moment because every 2 months or so, I can hear Hedwig's theme coming from some corner of my house because either my wife has restarted watching it, one of the kids have restarted watching it, my mother-in-law has restarted watching it, and just it's year round. Hedwig's theme just pops up at random and it drives me insane. Anyways, so we're at Universal and we were able to go into where they do the wands and you can set up times to go in there and they'll do a wand fitting or whatever, right? So they go through the whole shebang of giving you a wand and, oh no, I don't think this one works, and oh, try this one out, and it kind of screws with the shelves, and then they give you the third one, and then the lights come on and the big old vortex of wind comes up around the kid, and then you're screwed out of like $30, right? And so my daughter was the one who got picked because naturally my son's a little too old to be trying all that. So she walks up and, there's 3 cores for feather, or, there's 3 cores for wands in the Harry Potter universe, right? There's Phoenix feather, unicorn hair, and dragon heartstring. So I have those 3 sitting in my mind when the guy walks up and gives her the first one and he's like, oh, this has got Phoenix feather in it. And I'm like, we're checking that off the list. Okay. I know which one I don't want you to give her because then I'm going to have to buy this GD wand. Goes through, oh, that one didn't work. Second one comes up. I'm like, all right, here's the one that's going to define it. he's like, all right, this one's got dragon heart. I'm like, God, no. And of course, that one doesn't work. And so the third one he hands her, this one's got unicorn hair in it. Like, okay, I guess I'm buying this wand because, of course, my daughter and unicorns, it has to be it. And that was the one that, and she's standing there like, you know, as the beam of light comes down on her, and she's got this giant look on her face, like, oh my God, this is amazing. And she just looks back at me, and I'm like, all right, I'm already forking it out. Anyways, long story short, this was the only thing I got from Universal at the end of the day because my kids took all the rest of my money, so I got a mug.
Gary Oldman, though.
Yep,
That's
Gary
cool.
Oldman.
Yeah.
The best character of the books and the movies, and the reason why I quit reading the books at 5 because I found out that he died. Severus died, and I'm like, wait, he did what? No. And then I found out how he died, and I was like, wait, no, I'm done with this book series. I'm out. Screw you guys.
Yeah, the best character in the whole series dies, like, you know, just by walking into a void. But it's all event. It's all Avenger.
First into the void, but still,
David, it's all Avenger.
huh?
It's all Avenger who's the wand maker.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, all of them.
But what you should have done was handed her a lightsaber and been like, no, here. With all the lights coming on, it's like, she's a Jedi.
Oh man. Yeah, we didn't make it to that park whenever we were down there in Florida. We went to Disney, but we only hit Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom, or whatever the hell it's called. And then we went to Universal, which the kids had way more fun at because we could ride a bunch of awesome roller coasters. Disney's fun and everything, but they have like one roller coaster, and that's the Everest thing. I know they're adding the Guardians deal and all that, but honestly, the Hulk coaster is awesome. I rode that thing like 6 times. It was fantastic. And I'm bad. What's bad is that's the first time I've been to either Disney or Universal. It was in the middle of the pandemic, so crowds were way down, right? We went like the week after Thanksgiving, which is apparently one of the best weeks to go because, again, crowds are way down. So my expectations for what those parks are like are completely ruined, 100%. And now we're trying to plan ahead to go to the new Universal Park that's opening. It's going to have like a How to Train Your Dragon area, another GD Harry Potter area, and the Nintendo, the Nintendo World.
Oh yeah, that would be fun. Hopefully.
We're trying to plan that out, but I just know that when we go, it is going to be a god-awful, hellish nightmare of a mess of crowds and people, and I'm probably going to hate 99% of it, but we'll see.
Go in like September because that's usually people are in school and they usually don't get the luxury to take off that time. Usually, I mean.
Yeah. Well, we're figuring out. We'll see what we come up with, but kids are excited.
I'm hoping to go probably next year if possible.
Have you gone to Disney World events?
No.
Or Orlando Studios? Okay.
I need to, but
I haven't been in so long, like 2006 or so. So I don't know. It's probably way different, I'd imagine.
my sister's gone twice, I think. So, and it's like, it's something I want to do, but it's like, I want to go to Japan more than I do to Disney.
Right.
Oh yeah. Well, you could go to
and just
Disney Japan. Disney.
Yes, exactly.
Disney Tokyo. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Go hit the Godzilla Museum and the Gundam Museum.
Mm-hmm.
See the real life Gundam.
Yes.
Oh heck yeah.
And try to figure out a way to steal it.
Yeah.
We're going home, honey.
This coming weekend, there's a big anime convention in town, Matsuri. Right?
Anime Matsuri, yeah.
And I was reading somewhere that apparently they're going to be having some vendor that's selling like a ton of Godzilla stuff, like that's specific.
Oh, yeah, they were doing that last year.
It hasn't even been available stateside, right? It's like Japanese specific stuff is going to be there at the convention, and then something about how like there was a special where you could like get a Godzilla themed hotel room or some crap. I don't know what all it was. I just was like, I was looking at things for like, hey, what's things for kids to do the week of July, blah, blah, blah. Right. And on there as I was scrolling through. It was like, oh, Anime Matsuri. I'm like, I have no idea what this is. It's like the second biggest anime convention in the United States, right? I didn't know that. I started reading through it, and it was like, oh yeah, and there's like a ton of crazy, awesome Godzilla stuff that's going to be there this year. I was like, oh, huh,
Wow.
maybe we'll go. I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard of Matsuri before.
Yes.
Yeah, I hear it's really good.
It's supposed to be really big.
For now, look at these prices. I want to go. We'll probably go like Sunday or something, but which is crazy because it's it's the 12th through the
No, it's just this weekend, I think, starting Friday.
hold on. Yeah, I was looking for the time on it.
Tickets, I think, are like what, $45 for grown ass folk and like $40 for kids or something like that.
Yeah, I'm looking at let me make sure this is the right one for this. Yeah, so July 31st.
28th through the 31st.
Oh, wow. So anything okay. So here's the thing. So if I got a ticket or day badge or an adult badge, I guess for the weekend, I guess it's not a single day badge. You get it for the whole weekend. It would be $95 right now just for me to go by myself. So then if you add me, my wife, and my son, which would be $40, I'm looking at least
$250.
Yeah, about almost
Yeah.
by for taxes.
I swear I saw a single day ticket for like $45. Because yeah, you're right. Like that, there's the pass that's all weekend. That's $90.
Is it a 3 or 4 day con?
It is
It's
a 4-day con.
Right?
So,
is it
yeah,
4?
that's good.
Yeah.
I was about to say they better not be charging it for a 3-day con.
Which makes sense. I can't.
Yeah. Dude, Sunday, it says right here, Sunday pass, $45.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, you can buy individual day passes. So it's actually different prices for each day. A Friday pass is $60, Saturday pass is $65, and then Sunday pass is $45. And then kids are it says kids 4-day pass is $45, so there might not be a secondary price for daily ones.
Yeah.
And for $10 extra, you can go to the Hentai Fest.
All right, kids. I'll see you later.
I just scrolled all the way to the bottom and saw that and was like, what?
What?
Okay.
Okay. That's Saturday only. Dude, still, the whole Godzilla thing would be awesome to do. To see what they got over there, but which
Gotta work with what you got.
Yeah, tell me about it. So, y'all guys have any plans for this weekend?
No.
Just practice.
Yeah, you got your tournament next weekend.
Yeah. I played a buddy last night, and last week I was practicing a bunch of more combos, and then I was playing against him, and I just forgot everything I learned, and which happens, but I don't know.
So, Dai's going to be going to Evo next weekend.
Yes.
So,
Nice.
in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'd love to go, but just things didn't work out that way. So
Yeah,
next year.
He's the one that got me the idea to go, and now he's not even going. No, I just no. We'll go. We'll definitely go again I'll go again next year. So we'll go together.
Yeah, that's the plan.
We'll go as a team, the U2 Mafia team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm not sure what I got going on. I think we might be doing another family movie night. So I don't know what that's going to be. I know that my sister-in-law was wanting to watch Everything Everywhere All at Once. But then after I showed my brother the trailer for that old Henry movie, I still haven't watched it yet because he was like, oh, we'll do that for next movie night. So there's going to be a debate and a vote to see what we watch if we wind up doing it this weekend. But yeah, other than that, I can't. We never usually have very ornate plans. So it'll just be a by our seat of our pants type thing.
Well, don't let your kids watch it. At least everywhere at once. Apparently, there's some stuff in it that's not kid friendly.
Yeah, there's a particular fight scene that my brother really wants to watch. That involves plugs of a certain type. I may or may not have watched clips of the scene, and it's pretty friggin' funny.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take half a day Friday because my buddy Alex is it's his son's second birthday. They're gonna be doing they're going to like the safari zoo that's down here, I think in Sugarland. So
Nice.
we'll be going to go do that. I think they're gonna get mod pizza and stuff. So it'll be really cool to, be on that with Edward and everything and experience that. But I think Friday we're gonna watch. Once I get back for the Discord, we're probably either gonna watch Grandma's Boy or Star Trek Troopers, one of the two. And then, yeah, because last Friday we watched. Damn it, Legend. Sorry. Yeah.
I'm not familiar with Damn It.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a song by Blink-182. No, yeah, we watched Legend. They had some of the guys had never seen it.
Cool. Yeah, Friday's gonna be my extended day. I got radio show stuff I gotta do. Then sound stuff Friday night, and hopefully Saturday the grandbaby comes home. So
That'd be good. Congratulations on that.
yeah, they said they were gonna keep him for the week. So
Okay.
yeah, my first grandbaby.
Oh,
Thoroughly. Yep. Late term preemie, 5 pounds, 14 ounces.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they had to go emergency C-section, and mom and baby both lost blood. So they had to put her under to help make the delivery smoother. And then he's on constant monitors and stuff like that. He's on a cooling pad and oxygen and everything but he's doing well. I've been getting a lot of pictures and stuff like that. He's getting more color. He's keeping his weight on, so it's looking really good.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that's good that everything turned out okay, Colin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Birth is awesome, but it can be a scary thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Her water broke at like 2:30 in the morning.
Oh, damn.
And of course, her hospital's done in Syracuse, so that's a 40-minute ambulance ride unless they, floor it, and then it's like 25.
Yeah, that's one thing that I'm glad that we never dealt with ours was that, 2 a.m. water break type thing of just, oh my God, what are we gonna do? And having to call up people and get stuff and rush and any of that stuff. I'm glad I never had to deal with that. Everything was always just very, okay, this is about the time the baby's supposed to be due. So just come in on like this day if nothing's happened and we'll just get this ball rolling. So we were very lucky in terms of being able to deal with that. The first one was a little scarier because we found out that she had been in labor for like a really long time, and apparently it wore out some stuff and she just kept hemorrhaging like a lot. So yeah, it was great. First kid's born, sitting there all excited, new dad. There's the kid, he's screaming and waking up all the other children in the little nursery area. And then doctor comes by, he's like, yeah, Mr. Jordan, your wife is still hemorrhaging internally pretty badly. And if we can't get it stopped within X amount of time, we're going to have to do a hysterectomy. And I'm like, some of those words were horrifying. And at least one of those, I have no idea what it means. Let me go do a quick search. Oh, that's what that means. Well, shit. Hopefully it worked out though.
Yeah.
And then we got the second one come along and all that good stuff. But yeah, like I said, it's a wonderful thing, but man, it'll scare the shit out of you with some of the way that goes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mine scared me because we almost lost Edward and Anna, so that's what hit the emergency C-section.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, I'm sorry, Dad. I didn't mean to make that awkward.
Oh no, that's all good. You guys have that experience. That's good that they all went good,
Yeah,
So
Yeah. As long as it works out fine in the end, you can laugh and shake your head and take a couple more drinks about it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of water, we're thinking about taking Edward to Slitterbahn in Galveston, probably maybe this Saturday or so. Just go down there.
all right on.
It's been a long time since I've set foot in Schlitterbahn.
Yeah, same here.
Is that like a big water park or something?
Yeah.
And there's two locations. There's one down in Galveston, and then there's another one over in New Braunfels. Usually when people talk about Schlitterbahn, it's generally the New Braunfels one is the one everyone talks about. It's like right on a river. There's usually like a bunch of summer camps and stuff that people do where they'll just rent out a bunch of cabins along the river and they'll stay there, and then the kids will walk over to the park and do all that. But yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, they originally had, like, I think the last time we went to the Slitterbahn in Bronxville, they had 4 parks. I think they're working on their 5th or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, and then I mean, that's almost like the whole town's become just a water park. It seems it's been so long since we've been.
Whatever brings in the money, man. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what was it? We went twice to the one in Galveston, like right when it first opened, and they had like the indoor, like year-round part where it's like you could just go through the stuff in the pool, the lazy river, the little rides in there, but it was all indoors, and then you had the outside to everything. So that was when we got to go the second time, when we actually started doing some of the rides outside. So it's been a while since I've been.
Yeah, we've been waiting for my daughter to get tall enough because of my kids. She is the little daredevil that wants to get on roller coasters. My son, we finally broke him in on roller coasters. It only took 14 years to do it, but it's finally happened. So he hates all roller coasters where he has the sensation of falling. So I have no idea how to tell which ones he's not going to be fine with. So I just figure the faster the better, right? Because then you just have your inertia and it's constantly dragging you down into the seat, so you don't really sinking feeling. But my daughter doesn't care. She just is on board with absolutely anything. So I don't know that we'll get to it this year, but I'm thinking maybe next year we'll look at going to Fiesta, right?
That'd be nice.
And get on some of those. Go try out the Superman. Get on the Wonder Woman. My wife doesn't want us to do the Wonder Woman because it's a single rail coaster, so it's one person per car.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're not putting our daughter on that. And I'm like, well, if she's tall enough, maybe.
But she'll be an honorable Wonder Woman.
There you go. That's the idea. It's just getting on the golden lasso and taking a little ride around. It'd be fun. It'd be good. Builds character and a bunch of other random things I can say that won't matter to my wife, but it'll be fine.
Man, I haven't gone to Six Flags in San Antonio, the Fiesta Texas, that one, and then the one in Dallas. Forgot about that one too. Since the Batman Returns, it's been that long. Yeah,
what was Astroworld though?
That's 2005.
No, whenever not Fiesta Texas, but they had the one in Dallas that was part of Six Flags. I can't remember what it was called.
I thought Batman Returns was just in Astroworld.
No, they had the Batman ride there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Stand-up one, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm. It was really cool because, like, when you went in, even though it was Batman Returns, it was almost like Joker stuff. So it was like the Arkham or the Acme chemical plant and all the other stuff. And you're walking around, had like different Batman stuff. The music was playing. Then your legs are dangling from the ride.
Huh.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
It's always a blast, man. I'm just grateful I don't have horrific motion sickness like my brother. I just have a little bit of motion sickness, but my brother gets on. He loves to ride roller coasters, but after a few of them, he's basically done. So
Mm.
my daughter doesn't have that problem. My son doesn't really have that problem. I have it small enough to where now that they're all good enough to get on roller coasters, it's like, all right, we're gonna have to start hitting these. They're all tall enough to get into them. They're all tall enough to ride them. It's like, I'm on board. I can just guilt trip my wife into more of them will be good, but she's definitely afraid of every single one of them and refuses. But with enough puppy dog eyes from the kids, I think we can coax her onto at least one or two.
But Mom, if we're gonna die, we want you to die with us.
Yeah, that's what you say.
Yeah. You don't want us to leave you behind, do you?
Yeah, yeah. We'll haunt you forever, Mommy. No. I'm sorry, that's horrible.
Mommy, catch, and all of a sudden there's a head.
Oh.
Definitely the That Level podcast. We went dark real quickly. Man.
Here on the
I'm
podcast where the roller coaster goes off the rails.
We do
I
that.
haven't been to like a theme park or like a park like that since like 2016. It's been a while, unfortunately.
Last time I went to an amusement park was Astroworld.
Woo, that's been a minute.
Yeah,
See,
other
that's-
than I think SeaWorld like 1 year was the last time we went to do anything.
Mm.
But like after Astroworld closed, we were like, yep, that was gone. So all it left was a splash town until Sutterbond.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the thing, right? Like when Astroworld was there, man, it was every summer, multiple times a summer. You'd drive down to Astroworld and go.
Right.
Once that thing was gone, I mean, yeah, you basically had to, it was either, a water park if you really want to do a water park, or if you didn't want to do a water park, you had to drive hours, and either it was like leave really early in the morning and get to like Fiesta or whatever, and then be driving back at the ass crack of dawn, or you had to set up a hotel or something to be able to stay at overnight and leave the next morning. And my parents usually didn't go for that. So yeah, it was like once Astroworld was gone, a lot of those summer trips kind of went with it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But one cool thing, they're supposed to be opening a Great Wolf Lodge, like down in Webster, right? Which is an indoor water park. So still,
I've been to one of those. Yeah.
Really, your thing. You're still kind of SOL, but a lot of people talk really highly of the Great Wolf Lodge places. We went to it once, the one that's here in Texas, up towards, I think it's up towards, is that where it is?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we've been there once, and that was pretty cool. The most frustrating thing was they have like a little mini game that you can do throughout the building, where you buy like these crappy little wands, and then you like go on a little
Scavenger hunt.
Yeah. And then at the very end, there's like this big epic battle with a dragon. But I don't know if it's the motion control of it or whatever's inside the little wand wasn't communicating right. But first of all, that stupid scavenger hunt is spread out over like 4 floors of stuff, and a lot of it is inside stairwells. So we went with some friends, and it was us, our 2 kids, them, and their 3 kids. And we went to go try and do the scavenger hunt thing. Well, after about the 3rd time going up and down the stairs, everybody quit except for me and my son. And we're both like, look, we're in too deep now. We're going to finish this. And so for the rest of the, man, I can't even tell you how many like flights of stairs we went through to do that whole stupid thing. And then we got all the way down to the dragon part. It was the very last day. And we're like, we have to check out. And me and my son are standing in front of this stupid ass dragon, like flailing our arms like crazy, like just activate at the right damn time to beat this stupid dragon. Could never get it to work. Drove us nuts. Did it like at least a dozen times, and we just couldn't get it to work. It was frustrating, but it was fun. I wanted to saw my own legs off with like a rusty hacksaw by the end of it, but it was fun.
Well, whenever we go to PAC South, that was always fun doing the scavenger hunt the 2 times we went. but it was scattered throughout the whole complex, in San Antonio that they had where the convention center was.
Are they ever going to bring back Pac South or no?
I don't think so.
Dang.
Honestly, I think that San Antonio was the worst city they could put it in. Honestly, as much as I love San Antonio, it's just not. It is a tourist town,
Yeah.
but it's not great for conventions. I've been there enough to know there's not great conventions there. There's not great conventions in Dallas either. But it should have been in Houston, honestly. It's a bigger city. We have a bigger city. There's more to do here. And I think it would have been great if George R. Brown. But, it is what it is.
Plus, San Antonio's got the Spurs, and they suck, so it's fine.
Yeah, man. It's not the Rockets. It's not the Astros.
No, they don't even have a baseball team or a football team. So screw them. Well, actually, I take that back. I think I saw that the XFL is back.
Yes.
And
Again?
they put a team in but it's not in Dallas. It's in the city that all the sports teams are actually in, but they just say that they're in Dallas.
Like where the Texas Rangers are, and
yeah, it starts with an A. Why can't I think of this stupid town name?
not Arlington, right?
Arlington.
Yeah.
So every quote unquote Dallas team is actually in Arlington, so it's all BS. But so now the XFL, they put 3 teams in Texas. One of them is actually called the Arlington, whatever the hell it is. No one cares. It's the XFL. It's going to go for a season and die. But anyway, so they've got one team in Arlington. They've got one team in San Antonio, and they got one team in Houston. I know y'all are laughing, but come on now. XFL has tried to start up 2 different times. Both times they got through a season, and then
Third time's a charm.
Well, wait,
Third time's a charm.
Considering the fact that Vince McMahon has completely stepped down from the WWE, and this is his baby, maybe Triple H being in charge of this, and Stephanie McMahon may make it actually work a little bit better. Maybe we'll get that futuristic football game we got to see in Starship Troopers.
Basically, just running around on pretty much just concrete, just tackling each other into plexiglass.
Yeah. And being able to jump impossible flips, do these impossible things that you couldn't normally do unless you're on steroids or enhanced humans.
Yeah, man, that's all the future is, right? All these sports teams are all super against steroids and everything. It's like, no. That's how we get super soldiers. Crank these guys up on steroids. Just don't go to the Benoit level and watch them do crazy, insane human stunts that you never thought possible.
Well, considering the fact that, it's a known thing that if you take steroids, your manhood shrinks and stuff. So it's like, well, you don't have to worry about them making babies,
Yeah.
They're completely roided out. And it's like, they're the perfect super soldiers. They don't even to worry about sex.
Speaking of that, this is going to be a weird way to go. But my son somehow found this video. And I know nothing of Baki the Grappler, right? But Baki's dad, there's a video of this guy who does a whole explanation of Baki's dad. God damn it, what's his name?
Yujiro.
Yes. And it's a whole video where he goes through explaining everything about Yujiro. Dude, it is so funny. It is, and at one point he talks about how Yujiro Hanma in a nutshell. Go watch by AR Manga. Go watch that video. It is hilarious. It gets to a point where he's talking about how his dad just started having sex with everything because that was part of his training. And then it was he started having all of these hybrid animal children, right? And one of them he claimed was an ant, but I think the actual character he showed on screen was from One Punch Man or something. And he's and you might be asking yourself how he made it with an ant. Well, that's because the more training he did, his pee-pee got smaller until it finally disappeared. Oh my God, man. Seriously. You get a minute, go again. Yujiro Hanma in a nutshell by I think it was HR Manga is what I just said. But yeah, it's I'm sorry,
So-
AR.
I
Oh
think
my
yeah, Baki gets crazy. I think he did a praying mantis, I think, and that's where that came from. Yeah.
But that video is hilarious. And now every time I think about stuff like that, I just think about the dude who's doing the way he says it, just the way he keeps talking about his pee, just on and on. I was dying. I was laughing so hard at that video.
Oh man, that's just as bad as like Rikio, man. It seems like it's part of that same universe.
It feels like it. Like I don't know anything about Baki, but from the clips that I've seen, Ricky would definitely fit right in with all of Baki's crew. 100%.
It's the thing about Baki, it started as a martial arts anime. And I think what happened was, it didn't get much traction. So he had to get more elaborate and crazy as it went on to get traction.
Well, I mean, the problem is you didn't have it was missing the one ingredient that a lot of people go to those types of anime for, like Kenichi, Mightiest Disciple, right? There's a cute girl in in spandexy tights. That's what Baki was missing. They needed the simp factor to draw the people in, because if you don't have the simp factor, you need the batshit crazy factor. You need one of those.
Baki's mom was hot though.
Well, I will add the fact that you don't have that in One Punch Man. Because One Punch Man is just perfectly.
I said there's two factors. It's either the simp factor or the batshit crazy factor. And One Punch Man dives headfirst into the batshit crazy factor very quickly when he tears out the entire guts of a crab man with his shirt.
Yeah.
You get to that, and then whenever you find out how he supposedly got his powers, right? And just how nutty that show is hilarious. The premise of it is hilarious.
1,000 sit-ups, 1,000 push-ups, 100. No, I'm sorry. It's 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and then a 10-kilometer run every day.
Mm-hmm.
And he did it until even when his bones cracked, and he still moved forward.
And his hair fell out.
Yeah, and his hair fell out. Oh, jeez.
Gotta love that show.
I do too, and I can't wait for season 3. They just need to hurry up with it.
Man, some of these anime, they just take so long to get localized. It's like I could technically go watch like all of the most recent season of Demon Slayer. I've already seen the biggest fight in it, right, with the dual sword wielding guy against and all that. Like I've seen basically the best parts of this new upcoming series. It's like, but where the hell is it? Like localize it, people. Like get this dubbed and get it out here, please.
Well, is it even out in Japanese though? I don't think it is it?
I believe it is, because like I said, there's
could be. I haven't caught up with it, so.
Well, it's just like One Punch Man. Anyway, he's already fought God, and it's like, man, I want to see all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Are those legit? Like I've seen the bits about that where he fights God, but I've also seen where some people claim, like, because there's two manga, right? There's the one that he originally started, that the art style is like really, it is not
goofy.
what,
it's his own drawing. He did this. The one that's awesome.
Different. But then there's the official manga that Shonen publishes that's different, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yes.
That kind of screws me up, where I'm like, okay, which storyline exactly are we following along here? Because I think they differentiate from each other.
Kind of like how the newer Dragon Ball is, like the manga's different than the
show. The show, because the show was coming out before the manga got produced, and they decided to truncate some things and expand some other things and kind of tell a different story. So it wasn't just treading the same path the anime was.
I think they're doing that with like a lot more anime and stuff, because they're talking about doing that with the new Bleach, and they did that with was it the Boruto, which is the Naruto spinoff. Yeah. So I think they're doing that, but now that's going to wreck that. Oh, well, that's not canon. That's canon, argument.
Yeah, that's the same thing with like Full Metal Alchemist. I mean, you have the original series and then Brotherhood, which was very close to the manga, except for like the beginning bits, because it wasn't. They didn't want to tread the same path for that story at the beginning, because they wanted to start telling the stuff that changed and went into a different direction. Which brings me on the whole thing of like Trigun, the new Triguns, Trigun Stampede. I don't like the art style. I don't like the design for Vash at all. I really was having high hopes for this, just from that art picture, that poster they put out about it. Looked fantastic. Yeah. But then you see Vash, it's like he's so wildly different than what we've come to know. I don't know. I mean, I just don't like the way he looks at all.
I know why. It's because it's Crunchyroll's the one that did it, right?
Probably.
So.
Yeah, they suck. I like them. They're bad.
Like, honestly, the thing that's killing me, right? Even like, so watching the trailer for Dragon Ball Super Superhero.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yes.
The one that they showed at San Diego. Man, I guess it's cheaper to do all the CG, like 3D modeling of stuff, but man, it looks so different in terms of how, like, in some cases when they do it, it looks perfect, it blends in well, and then other cases, it's clearly like a 3D model, and it just it's something so different than what I'm used to and what I would be expecting from some of this stuff. And that's kind of what threw me off about the Trigun show when it first came on, and I was watching the trailer for it. Like, first I was like, okay, this is kind of a weird art style, but what was throwing me off more was just the fact that it was using this. And maybe it's just because at this point I've had so much of a bad taste in my mouth from like all the Netflix stuff that's used the CG modeling for everything, that just every time I see it, my initial reaction is, yeah, don't do that, guys. That it just seems like a lot of this stuff, I see it, and whenever you get stills, the stills look great, but the second it goes into motion, I'm like, it would look so much better if it was like traditionally animated instead of whatever this is.
I think it depends on the property, honestly, because I've seen half of the superhero movie, and it's really good. It animates very well. There are moments that you tell that it's like the CGI kind of stands out a little bit, but after a while, it just kind of seeps in. But luckily, this is only for this movie, as far as I know. I think they're going to go back to traditional animation for
if it does well
when they bring
enough.
Super back.
If it does well enough, man, and it cuts down cost and time and all that, I mean, that's the way they go. It's like, again, it's like with all the Netflix stuff. Castlevania killed it. So
fantastic.
Why didn't they animate more of their stuff in the same vein as Castlevania? Why did they keep going back to the CG method, right?
Two different studios for one.
And it's got to be, you almost got to think it's got to be cheaper at a certain point, right? It's got to be cheaper and probably more time efficient to be able to have a 3D model that you just animate through space instead of actually having to, draw out panels and all the rest of that stuff to get it to flow and work. I don't know, man.
And they could outsource it easier. Like, and it's a lot cheap. Yeah, that's the main thing. They could outsource it a lot easier than, back.
But then at that point, is it really anime at that point? Because traditionally anime is hand drawn. It is. I mean, with some of it can have CG. Like the stuff that with Blue Submarine number 6 and Macross Zero. There's a couple anime that use that same style. CGI works well with the animation. But then again, there's other ones that like it just doesn't. It looks kind of like out of place. So
I mean, even Cowboy Bebop had CG, right? Like when
they're out in space and stuff. Yeah.
Like space portals and all that, right? There's CG there, so it's like I'm not averse to using that entirely. It's just like what you're saying. There's a time and place to use it, and there's a way to use it. Because like another good one is the Dragon Prince, right? By the people that did the Airbender stuff. Man, watching the first couple episodes of the first season of that show, like it was starting to almost give me a headache because the frame rate of the animation was actually kind of low. Like there were points where it was just I'm watching it and it's not smooth at all. There's like stuff, it's skipping through. You see a hand here and then it's here in between, and you're seeing the frames missing out of the animation in a bunch of spots. And I'm watching it and I'm like, man, for this being from the guys who did, Airbender, all this other stuff, you would have thought that they would have put more into it and made it more of a smoother, again, animation than what it looked like. And I don't know if it gets better. I kind of stopped watching it because I just kind of stopped caring, but just more like that, right?
So I finished Ghost in the Shell, the new series, the 2049 or 2045. Fantastic. That works very well for animation. It's weird just because I'm used to the animation because this is a sequel to Standalone Complex, the second gig. But the story, the characters, I felt like I was watching the series. I mean, watching that series again. But there was moments with the CGI you can notice, but it was fantastic though. It was very enjoyable. And then you think of Ultraman. Ultraman works very well with the CGI style that they used instead of going for a cartoon animation. Even I think the first two seasons, the first two movies for the Godzilla animated one, where that's in the far future, was okay. I need to finish watching the third one. It got boring. It lost my interest. But even like Singularity, the Singular Point, that series looks great. Most of it is hand-drawn animation with some CGI here and there. I'm looking for the second season on that one. But sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. I don't think it needs to be utilized every time.
If you look at the Bleach anime trailer for the new one and look at the Trigun, they're both CG, but the Bleach one is just done a lot better, for example. Yeah.
But I am worried about Trigun though. I don't like
It
the
looks
fact
ugly.
I don't like the fact that Johnny Young Bosch isn't going to come back because they're going to come back to do the voice for Vash. I don't like the fact that like his look at all. I don't like his hairstyle. Even like you see him and Nice when they're younger, and they both have like this slanted haircut and stuff, and it's just like they just look off. They don't look right. That was the one cool thing about the original anime, when you got to see that whole thing with them on the ship and them with Rim, and the fact that like when Vash got his hair cut and stuff, because both of them had long hair, and then when Vash got his hair cut, it was, he kind of spiked it up, and the reason why he did that was because Rim did that for him, and that's why he kept continuing to do the whole thing of him spiking his hair up. I don't see that with this. He looks like I can't explain. He looks like he's designed for this age instead of being designed for the character he was. And it totally takes me out of it. I'm going to watch it. I'm hoping it's going to be good because it's Trigun. I love that series, but I just don't know. And I hate that. I hate taking risks for things that I know in my back of my head that may not work.
Yeah. It's one of those things, right? It's I don't know. It comes down to adaptation, and then sometimes that adaptation just isn't quite what you want it to be, right? I mean, it's like so many other things, right? For all the people that can get into a lot of this stuff and enjoy it no matter what, it's like I'm happy for those people. I wish I could be there with them. Like so much of this stuff, it's and sometimes it's little things that just kind of knock you out. Sometimes it's just you're not in the right headspace for it, right? All kinds of stuff that comes up. It's like right now I'm sitting down and watching through Stargirl with my daughter, and I've actually been enjoying the series so far, right? For it being a CW property, and I think it was last episode that we were kind of taking a dump on CW properties in general because we were comparing it to Resident Evil, right? This one doesn't have all the weird, at least not so far. I'm only about halfway through the first season, but so far it hasn't had the weird, stupid, angsty teenage BS going on. A lot of the emotional beats that they go for in the episodes are kind of clunky the way that they do them, but overall the feel of the show is a lot different. And I think part of it is because Stargirl isn't this angsty teen. She's this, she's got like this kind of dark past because her dad, she never knew who her dad was, and he just kind of vanished, and then her mom wound up with this other guy, and now she thinks her dad's Starman, right? But there's still this kind of question whether or not he actually was Starman. And she doesn't let that hold her back. She's still this bubbly, insanely optimistic character who's going around and just trying to do good in the world. And it's like, it's just cool to see, that it kind of brings back that feeling of superhero shows, right? Of what I kind of want for my superhero show. And yeah, I've been really digging it. I've been really enjoying it. And I was trying to think about it because I know before we talked about how like the Miss Marvel show, right? And I still haven't watched an episode of it. And I was trying to think today about like why I'm more prone to watch Stargirl over something like Miss Marvel, aside from the fact that, and I think it comes down to a couple things. I think stretchy powers are dumb, just in general. Like nothing against Mr. Fantastic and Elastic Man and Plastic Man and all that. I just think that the general look of those powers is stupid. Whereas someone flying around with a magic staff shooting energy blasts is way more cool to me. But also I think it does come down to just a familiarity with the characters, right? I know way more about DC than I do with Marvel. So any of the stuff that they hint at in a Marvel show, I'm not going to pick up on. But watching Stargirl, I'm looking around, I'm like, oh, hey, I think that's supposed to be Sportsmaster. And oh, hey, I think that's Shining Knight. And oh, hey, and all of a sudden it's like all these characters I'm looking around and seeing, oh, hey, I wonder what they're going to do with that. Now, this show is going to piss me off for one reason and one reason only, if they never pay off on this. Stargirl was created by Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns famously reinvigorated Green Lantern, right, with Rebirth. We're talking about the Justice Society, so it's not Hal, it's not classic Green Lantern Corps, but it's Alan Scott. They've shown his lantern, and part of the main conceit of the show is Stargirl's going around, and like the entire JSA got wiped out by the Injustice Society, and now Stargirl's getting new members of the JSA. So she got this other girl to be the new Wildcat, and this one girl to be the new Doc Midnight, and this one dude the new Hourman. And she picked up Alan's lantern, and they've shown it in at least one episode, Pulse Green. And I'm like, don't you do this to me, show. Don't you do this to me. I've been waiting for Lantern to show up in any of this shit for years. And y'all keep teasing me with it. And you keep not delivering. So do not do this to me. It's driving me a little nuts, and it's irritating the ever-loving crap out of me. It's like, if you're going to show the Lantern, give me the Lantern.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
good.
I do have a topic we can go into, but I want to see what everybody's been watching, since we know you've been doing that. Colin, anything you've been watching besides, I know, Stranger Things, or any movies you've been?
Nope. I finished up Stranger Things, and then I had to buckle back down on some stuff that needed to be taken care of. Trying to decide what to go with next. I'm thinking maybe Mandalorian, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, that'll go fast. I mean, if you start watching The Mandalorian, it'll be.
Yeah, I was thinking about changing gears and trying to find some good anime stuff that I haven't seen. Because I was thinking about it while you guys were talking. The last anime stuff that I watched was, Twin Star Exorcist and Blue Exorcist and Demon Slayer.
There you go.
So
I mean, that's good, right? At least you left out on a high note on the last ones. But the last time we talked to you, though, you hadn't quite finished Stranger Things. So how did you find it all wrapped up?
overall, it was worth the watch. As it got toward the last couple of episodes there, it got a little bit more predictable right up until the very, very end. And then I kind of could see where they were going with it. I figured out who Vecna was long before, back early on. And there were a
So-
lot and stuff, a lot of tropic stuff that I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be this and this is this, but it's still in the end, it was a good watch, and I am looking forward to the next season.
So keep it vague because I don't know if I watched all of Stranger Things yet.
I have not. I'm actually really behind on that. So,
So we'll keep it vague. You need to watch it, man.
That's where I was a couple weeks ago, and I ended up just sitting here in the studio and binging full seasons in a day. For like 2.5 days straight, I just kind of plowed right through it. So,
Yeah, I think we'll definitely, since my dad's going to be on the 50th episode, we definitely can spend a portion talking about the overall of the series, and then go from there.
But yeah, I mean, in the end result of it, there were some story bits that I'm like, really, but overall, it was worth the watch. So,
Di, anything you've been watching?
Mainly just some. I'm still trying to catch up on Bleach. I'm on episode 153, and I got like 140 more episodes to go to get caught up.
Yeah.
And so I'm probably what I'm gonna do is I bought a new monitor, so I'm probably just gonna be watching that on the side while I practice Tekken tomorrow, and doing like 12-hour binges on my days off till I go, and then hopefully I could finish that up and catch up on some other stuff. And I know the next anime I'm gonna watch is Fire Force. I hear that's really good, but I know nothing about it. So
Fire Force.
Yeah, I didn't know a whole lot about it, and then all of a sudden my son just was like, "Hey, Dad, you need to sit down and watch this." And we haven't gotten through all of it, but it's been pretty good so far. It's done by the same group. It's done by the same guy who did Soul Eater. So
Yeah,
you had a good time with Soul Eater. Then it's not exactly 1-to-1 Soul Eater, but it's got kind of the same feel to it in a way. So
I want to say I
enjoyable.
have that queued up somewhere.
Soul Eater?
No, well, and Fire Force. I want to say that something about that appealed to me, but I never got to it.
Is it on Netflix right now, or is it on what's it
I know
on?
it's on Crunchyroll.
Okay. Yeah,
Now
I haven't seen anything on it yet, so I'll have to check it out and look.
I also saw the DC animated movie, the one where Darkseid takes over. I forget the name of it.
Apocalypse War.
Yeah. I was a couple years behind on it, but I finally watched that one. So
Well,
Yeah.
I guess it could be either Apocalypse War or they've done like 3 of them. What's the other one? Oh, yeah, we got Apocalypse War. We got which is it?
It was
Oh, I don't have the other one. They did another one where it was
Yeah.
like stab Darkseid in the eyeballs and a bunch of other nonsense. So was this the one where the Justice League all got murdered?
Yeah.
yeah, and then also Suicide Squad was in it, and so was the Teen Titans. So
Okay, then that
Oh,
should be.
those were different ones.
Huh?
Which one, Colin?
Apocalypse War. They did. If I remember right, they were only in it slightly. It was mainly from the Justice League and Constantine.
Yeah, but so they did.
Yeah.
They did one where it was based on
One of the Dick graphic novel.
Yeah.
They did it based on one of the most recent comic runs, and that one was kind of terrible because Wonder Woman's sort of an idiot in it. There's the old one that they did, which was a sequel to Superman, Batman, Public Enemies, and that was the one where Supergirl showed up in it, and it was based on the oh damn it, what's his name? Matt Turner, I think, was the artist. He did oh, why can't I think of? He founded an entire company. It has it's all about the chick with the water powers.
Isn't that isn't that what Top? Yeah, isn't that what Top Cow? Because she still with them.
Fathom is its own separate thing.
Okay.
So yeah, but the guy who created Fathom did he illustrated a thing where they fought a Darkseid and they did
Yeah.
a movie. And then, like I said, they did a movie based on the Rebirth version of Darkseid attacking, and the Justice League like wiping him out, just absolutely destroying him super fast, and it was kind of lame.
Yeah, that was
And then
like
you
the
know,
second movie in the
War-
series where they fought Darkseid.
Huh?
It was first.
Yeah, they've done 3 different movies where Darkseid shows up and fights everybody. The one where Supergirl destroys him is pretty cool. The one that was based on the Rebirth storyline was kind of lame. Again, I just didn't really like Wonder Woman in it. And then Apocalypse War is pretty crazy.
Is that the one? Is it one of those ones that they were on Smallville, the Ken Farm, or something like that?
Yeah, that was the Supergirl one where she like mega suplexes him into the earth and all sorts of nonsense.
Okay.
Wasn't that
Yeah.
based off the comic line, the newer comic line when she like was the bad guy for a while, or is that different?
Supergirl?
Yeah, where she basically gets raised by Darkseid or something. I forget the whole thing or whatever.
Yeah.
That one was good, from what I recall. That was like 2016, 2017, I think.
Yeah. Superman, Batman, Apocalypse.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So there's this one. There's Apocalypse War, right? That has
That one was part of the bigger universe thing. The one with Supergirl, that was the sequel. Those two were not canon. They were just separate movies. Yeah. Those two were just separate movies, like Elseworld type stuff. But Apocalypse War was the end cap to Flashpoint Paradox in the first Justice League where Darkseid showed up.
Yeah.
Because after Apocalypse War, it reset and it's starting the new animated canon series.
Stuff they're doing.
I
Yeah.
want them to stop that. I don't need recurring movies that build on each other, because if they do that, I'm never going to get the Nail. I want them to do an animated version of the Nail so bad, because I want to see Mr. Miracle program himself, his mind into a mother box, then get killed, and then have Big Barda become the Green Lantern of Apocalypse, and then have Mr. Miracle able to project himself through her ring via the mother box. I love that. I love the Nail so much, and I'm never going to get it in any kind of format, because these assholes are like, well, let's just do animated versions of the comics forever, except not the good old comics that everyone loves. We're just going to keep doing the new continuity. No, stop doing the new continuity. Like, new continuity is fine and all, but y'all, there's like a whole back catalog way back there of great stuff that you could do. Like, like at this point, we're never going to get Sinestro Corps War. We're never going to get Blackest Night. Like, we're never going to get these really awesome stories that they could go do animated versions of, because God knows we're never going to get the live action version of them.
Yeah, we're
I'm
never
surprised
to see
they never did the Blackest Night, surprisingly.
Yeah,
because that was like one of the most popular lines at the time. You know,
It
I
was
think even it
popular
shreds
one.
like today's sales. You know, I don't know.
So, well, the tragedy that is the fact that we have not yet, and probably will never get, any of the Earth One books done into animated format. And the fact that we were just talking about Jeff Johns, he was the one who did the 3 volumes for Batman Earth One, which is fantastic. Same thing with Superman, the Green Lantern. Well, he didn't do those, but you know, that whole Earth One line is great. I think that's where they just need to. That is perfect storytelling that they just need to continue. To me, I like that universe than I do anything else.
Unfortunately, I think they've canceled all of them, because I know Green Lantern Volume 3 got canned, which breaks my heart, because those were great.
I need to pick up. I need to pick up Volume 2, but it's expensive right now, so I'm gonna wait a little bit, or at least I can go to a comic book shop and probably get it for retail.
Yeah. I think that because Superman stopped at Volume 3. I think Batman stopped at Volume 3. Teen Titans only got to Volume 2. Wonder Woman only got to Volume 2. And then Lantern was only to 2. And I think those were the only ones that I can think of off the top of my head. If I'm missing any of them, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but
I was really hoping we would get Flash, because I would really love an Earth One Flash. And then
we never did.
Trying to think of who else. Like, since we got the Teen Titans, I mean, like Justice League Dark, you know, or Constantine would be kind of cool in that universe.
The closest you got to Justice League Dark was No, wait, there was a Justice League Dark animated movie.
Yeah, but as far as Earth One in the Earth One universe,
yeah,
stop.
I don't think it would have translated well to Earth One stuff.
But so just to add what I've been watching besides the Ghost in the Shell, finishing that up, it actually kind of wraps up the series and it kind of like ends it. I mean, it's like I don't think they're going to do a second season after this. It's a good kind of cap. They could, but it leaves it ended where it's like it kind of books in that original anime series. And then I was looking because I love scary stuff and all that thing. So I started watching the first season of The Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch. I did it again, and I knew I was going to say it. Skywalker Ranch. Yeah. Anyway, Skinwalker Ranch, and it's been really cool. Just like looking at all the investigation stuff they're doing on that land.
Yeah.
With all the how the land is magnetized and it's producing its own electricity. So like they've only had like, as far as we're on almost done with season 2, me and Anna, I watched the first 2 episodes and I told Anna, I said, hey, you need to watch the first 2 episodes. And when I come home, we'll continue watching on. She goes, okay. And then she was like, oh my God, you need to get home now so we can continue watching this. Cause it's just really good. And, I was talking to Dad about it, just all the stuff that they deal with in season 3. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that up on Vudu. I think you can get it for like $17 the whole season for.
There was a 2-part episode back in the series Paranormal State.
Yes. Yeah.
Where they went to the Skinwalker Ranch, and then while they were investigating stuff, they ended up catching lights in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh, Texas just had a giant explosion in the sky, right? That they're claiming was a meteor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Or space junk now.
Yeah. Considering the fact that they talk about the fact that there's so much debris and garbage that we have accumulated in space because of all the space launches and the satellites, that it gets really hard for us to get through that barrier of junk for us to be able to get into space or anything like that when we're going to the space station or anything like that. So
yeah, I heard that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you hear the rocket that hit the moon, or is someone?
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Supposedly somebody shot the moon.
I had a black eye for days.
Well, as long as it wasn't Piccolo, we should be all right.
Yeah. Or they didn't like draw a giant dick on the moon, like or
yeah. We're waiting for the rest of the rockets to land to form out the rest of it.
So I guess something we can kind of round out the podcast with, like to the end, is that what was it? They did a poster or whatever for the Little Mermaid, and I was just like, people are just completely like, it's like one end of the spectrum is like we're upset because they cast a black actress to play Ariel, versus the other half, it's like, why don't you want to progress? You're racist and all stuff. And
this is why I make it really easy on myself. And from the very first live action Disney property that they wanted to come out with, I don't remember what it was. I think it was Cinderella. I basically threw up a giant middle finger to all of it and said, you already did this movie. I don't want to watch it again. I don't care that it's live action and all this.
Right.
Give me new stories, Disney. I don't want to watch all this crap recycled through your bullshit machine for a second time. I don't care what change. It could be 1-to-1, scene for scene, exact copies of the old cartoons. Don't care. I don't care. It's dumb. It's a stupid cash grab. Go do something different.
Yeah.
Go do anything. I don't care.
Require creativity and hard work.
You could get Tom Hardy to come back and play the Beast for me, and I'd be like, hey, that's kind of cool, but I'm never going to watch it because screw you guys. I don't want to see this shit ever. If I want to go watch the Beast, I'm going to go watch the old one with my daughter because it's awesome.
So somebody had done a poster, or like not a poster, but they took the image from Treasure Planet and they put "What If," and it was Tom Holland as the main character, and then Johnny Depp as I can't remember his name now.
Are you talking about Long John?
Yeah.
Uh,
And I'm like, man, that would actually work. I could see that. I could
Yeah.
totally see that.
yeah, I actually could too.
Again, I'd never watch it, but yeah.
But
I
yeah,
don't think they would make a
I
movie
don't
of
even
that.
care. Just don't tell me it's Treasure Planet. Tell me it's Planet Treasure in Space, or however you want to, whatever kind of dumb title you want to make it. But just make it different. If you want to tell Tom Holland running around in space as a space pirate dealing with stuff, and it's vaguely like Treasure Island, and so it's kind of Treasure Planet-y, cool beans. But if you're like, hey everybody, look, we're gonna do Treasure Planet again, but now it's all gonna be live action, it's like, oh great, so it can suck more. Thanks guys, appreciate it, because that's what I want. I want to see live actors' faces instead of beautifully animated
scenes, yeah.
pictures. No, you can do more with the pictures than you can with that dummy's face, and I don't want to see that dummy's face unless it's something different, and then I'll believe it. But if it's just you rehashing something, no, I don't want it.
And that's the sad thing. This isn't, it's like Di said, it's not for diversity or any of that stuff. It's about money. It's about getting people in that seat that normally apparently in their minds would not go see that movie.
But honestly, the bigger problem I have with it is, okay, you're just retelling, a European story. You're just putting a different face on it, but you've still got the same mythos, right? It's still going to be Trident. So it's a Greek person. Are you telling me that there's nothing from any other continent, right? That's what, and we've kind of touched on this before. That's what made Moana so cool and interesting was, hey, now we are introduced to this whole new pantheon of people, right? Like deities and places and legends and things that I didn't know anything about. And it makes you curious all of a sudden. Hey, I want to know a little bit more about, the real legends behind this character, or is this portion of that movie based on a legend? And if it is, I want to learn more about that legend. And that way you are doing better at representation. You are doing better about being diverse, because now you are telling a brand new story, bringing a whole new worldview, a whole new set of ideas and mores and tales that people probably have no idea about, right? And now you get to tell this really cool story that every legend has a mirror of itself in some other legend, right? I guarantee you somewhere out there in some other culture, there's a legend that tells a story about, a girl who, was struggling with herself and wanted to break away from her oppressive parents or whatever. And so made a deal with someone bad, and she had to deal with the repercussions of it and eventually defeat the evil, or whatever this tale may be. They did it with Brave, right? Brave is just the Little Mermaid again, but tweaked a little bit different. And you have the Celtic mythology massaged into it. So just do that, but anywhere else. If you want to make it about African mythology, then actually go bother doing the research, find where this could fit in that mythology, and tell that story. And that way you're introducing people to whole new tales. You get to express a whole new area of the world instead of just rehashing Europe again and Greek mythology. I love Greek mythology, but I'm tired of Triton. And with that, right, I'm really curious how that movie's going to go, because is it going to show in China? Is it going to be over there? Are they actually going to?
We saw what they did to Finn in the Star Wars. I mean, he went from being this big on the poster to not even being on it, or like
no, he was on it. He was just like this big. Like he was still on the poster. You just had to like squint with a magnifying glass and you could find him.
It's all about money, and that's the sad thing. And it's all dividing us instead of us being united and like, hey, you know what? Whatever.
I also want to say that I doubt we'll see anything more from Disney again, since I heard Buzz Lightyear was the biggest flop they've had in a long time.
It's coming next month.
Yeah, I just knew it was a big flop from like the box office, and I don't know why it was. I mean, I don't know if the kiss was. I heard that, but I don't know if that. I think it was just. Yeah.
It seemed like there was hype for it initially, right? And then that last week or two leading up into it, when all of a sudden news of this kiss like blew up everywhere, and you had like Chris Evans coming out and talking a bunch of mess to people, of basically saying like, hey, if you have a problem with this, then don't bother going seeing it. And it's like it started creating this divisiveness in a movie that it didn't need to exist. And it was like, hey guys, there's a bunch of people out there that are crying about this thing in this movie. Just leave them in their little corner to cry.
Make your own opinion.
And just talk about just talk about the positives of the movie, and don't sit there and say, well, if you don't like this one aspect, you're an asshole and I don't want your money, because then you are potentially going to run off people that would otherwise, like those middle sitting people that really don't care or another.
Either way, yeah.
But the second the star of the movie is calling out people, they're like, I think I'll wait. And you kind of hamstring yourself. Well, is it right? I mean, it's not really. You should still go make your own opinions about it. Or like I'm saying with these live action stuff, I'm just never going to see it because screw them. But I'll never say they're bad. I just think they're stupid. But yeah, it's like I really think that last minute negative press scared people away from that movie more than anything. And so it's a fine line to walk.
Star Wars is the same way with Kenobi. You know, after everybody was all like, "Oh, we hate Reva," which we did hate Reva because she was just a bad character, not the actress. She was fine. She played a good villain, but it became a one-note villain. It was a bad character, and it's not the actress, you know. No, but people were like, "Oh, people were being," and it's like, "Oh, you're being racist because you don't like the character." Not to me, but to these people that were like, "Hey, this is a bad character." And then you had Ewan McGregor come out and say, "Hey, if you don't," I've heard a lot of this stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then he came out after the fact, after the show flopped, and was all like, "Yeah, I was being told by Disney to say this stuff." You know, and it's like,
and that was the sad thing, right? It's like you have these moments, you have these chances with these characters, and it's like they're scared to make some of these characters look in a bad light. Like that was kind of what messed up Reva for me by the end, because like we talked about the first couple episodes when it came out, and I was even saying like I kind of like her as a villain because she's not this overly complex person. She's just a mustache twirling, I'm going to murder everyone kind of villain. And I was assuming that by the end of it, we were going to find out that she had been like brainwashed by Vader or all this other stuff. But no, she was aware of everything she was doing the whole series, and she was doing it all for vengeance. And then at the last minute, she decided to not kill Luke. It's like, okay, but what about Luke changed your mind when you had been so murder happy this entire series that the other Inquisitors were telling you, hey, you should probably pump the brakes on the murder just a bit. And she's like, no, we got to murder the entire village and the village's village and the 3 villages over.
And their grandkids that may live on Alderaan. We need to kill everyone. They just need to massacre. And it's like,
you want to know what? I was thinking of these plans. Like, I'm going to call it the Death Star. It's going to let us blow up entire planets. It's like she went from that to all of a sudden doing a face turn. But it's like what I've talked about with a lot of those Star Wars shows. They didn't hit the beats that would make me believe that face turn makes sense. And that's what kind of screwed up her character towards the end. Like, yeah, it was also kind of dumb that she got stabbed from now on, the classic deaths that aren't really deaths. Falling off of a cliff into fog, right? Whoever does that's going to live. Classic death that isn't a real death. And now, thanks to Star Wars, being stabbed in the stomach, they're going to live somehow. We're not entirely sure. I guess they don't need spines or whatever.
Unless you're
Qui-Gon.
Yeah, unless you're Qui-Gon.
That was the best. That was the best comments that I saw going through the Kenobi series towards the end. Everybody was showing like the different memes of everybody like being stabbed and getting up, and then it got to Qui-Gon, and he's like, "What the fuck?" Oh man.
Yeah, I mean or getting cut in half by a lightsaber, and watching your pants, your lower half go this way, and your the rest of you just floating too, and it's like, look, trying to grab your pants as they're going away.
We don't know how other alien anatomy works. Okay.
Well, that is true, considering the fact that what was it, Star Trek Undiscovered Country, I think it was, whenever she's all like some creature's genitalia is not in the same place that you humans have it. He hits him in the kneecap, and that's where his nuts were. Okay.
Huh.
All right.
Yeah.
But it's just sad because it's like we're getting to the point where it's like it's wrong for us to care about continuity. Yeah, so it's wrong for us to care about like things that actually matter, like the things we've established, the work and legacy of these other people that have created that we enjoy. So that way other people can go and say, I'm going to shit in your toy box and I'm going to make my own little creatures out of it. Why? All you're doing is creating, division between the fan base, and you're not bringing people together.
Well, and it's kind of like with all this other stuff, right? Where they're taking all of these names of these franchises, and like what I've said a couple of times, it's like they're taking their crappy fan fiction and then plastering the names of other things on the front of it, and they're giving these different people inside of it the names of the people that it's supposed to represent, but they're so drastically different from the character that they're not really that character anymore, right?
No.
Like in Resident Evil, right? The guy playing Wesker, it's like he's a great actor. He plays great villains, but nothing about his character in that show is Wesker.
Nope.
He's this weird loving father. Yeah, he's kind of a mad scientist. Yeah, he shows kind of a dark side, but nothing about his character throughout that show. Like if he never said his name, I would never have guessed that he was supposed to be Wesker based on who, not just like what he looks like, but the way that he acts. Everything doesn't ring as Wesker. So it's like, okay, then why did you make him that character? Why didn't you just make him a different character? Like what we kind of talked about. If he's going to be Wesker, why not be like a clone that was modified by Wesker for some reason, and that caused differences in him, and that could explain why he's different. It just seems kind of weird that they decide to go these routes, because yeah, if you take an established character, but if you change them enough to where they're no longer the character that it was, then what have you really done? You're just skinning your own character with someone else's name to sell them off, because otherwise no one would pay attention, which I guess it's fine and it makes sense, right? It goes back to, if you're telling a good enough story and you're kind of playing into the history of the character, and it, like Stargirl, right? Stargirl, like I said, the JSA is all dead, and so she's having to replace a lot of these classic characters, but she's doing it, and it's being done in a way where it's still paying homage and honoring the characters from before. Like the girl who picks up the mantle of Wildcat, there's a moment in one of the episodes where like her character's depressed because she's kind of an outcast at school because of a bad decision that she made, and she reads up on Wildcat and like his history and about how he overcame his own adversity, and he got thrown out, and then he was able to redefine himself and come back into the limelight as a boxer. And she's like, if he could do it, so can I. And so it was a cool little moment of, yeah, there's a passing of the torch, but it's still looking back and saying, this is where it came from, and that's inspired and is creating this new one and moving forward. It's like that's where you're at least getting a new face to it, but it's not crapping on the legacy, and you're at least still pointing back and honoring it. It's a fine line to walk with all this, and it just seems like more misses than hits with a lot of the way they're handling these. And I don't know, man. We'll see how it goes moving forward.
And that's definitely, that's the point that I'm trying to make for us in the conversation. It's like we're at this point right now where no one has respect for anyone or what came before them, and whether it's like people want to say it's woke or whatever, it's like, but it's a generational thing. It's also, it's us across the board. We don't care about things. We want to forget things. We want to throw things under the rug. We don't want to be reminded of our mistakes so we can learn from them and move forward. And we're doing that now with our storytelling. And it's sad because we're undermining great characters that have been icons for all of us growing up, that are role models. They're people to look up to. Now it's like, oh, well, they don't represent something that a small demographic of people that actually will watch this show and probably maybe care about. Because most people just want to watch a good story. They don't care about, whatever that is being fed into something for a talking point or representation, just because of the fact that they feel obligated to do it. If you have a good character and that character, if you want to create someone that's going to be someone that represents something, why don't you create a new character for that? Or look at the breadth of everything in Marvel and DC and go, hey, look, there's this character that fits this archetype of what we're trying to tell. That is exactly what we need. We don't have to change anything about them other than maybe modernize them. Hey, look, we get a character that's never been on screen that we needed to have before. You think about like Static Shock, the fact that he has not yet moved to being a live action form of himself. And I mean, there's tons of characters like that don't get that love that they need because we just want to reskin everyone. We want to pull the DLC for all movies. Being someone who enjoys stories and writing, it's not believable just to sit there and go, oh, I'm gonna swap this person like it's a video game, and like this is a different skin. It's like a what if skin. Well, maybe tell a what if story of if that happened, and let people know this is a what if. What does it matter if it's a what if? We've already Marvel's already established that now. So, and they've actually established that a long time ago. And DC has their own called Elseworlds. Hey, this is Superman Elseworlds, blah, blah, blah. I'm down for whatever you're going to do as long as it's a good story. If it's not a good story, then I'm out. I mean, I'll watch it. But, that's the problem is where we don't, it's all about money. It's not actually about seeing the possibilities of what could be and explaining it in a good way that intrigues audience to stick around to see how this story is going to play out. I mean, hell, we can't even get a Green Lantern. We can't even get John Stewart.
You can do. By God, he can be anybody.
Yes, can't even get a John Stewart. Come on, man.
Yeah,
I'm right there with you.
It could be Hal. It could be Guy. It could be John. It could be Simon. It could be Jessica. It could
be Kyle.
It could be Kyle. They've got so many out there that you could go with, and you don't even have to go with one. You could go with multiple.
I want the Guy Gardner when he gets the red and the green and just beats the hell out of Atrocitus. That's the one I want. That would be a cool movie.
Hey, it could be just Kilowog,
There you go.
You don't even have to have a human. You just completely CGI character and just have him
And that's the thing, right? With Lantern, it's like Lantern has such a weird origin. Don't even bother with it. Just here's a guy. He's got a ring. It lets him do shit. Boom, go. And here's a crazy cast of characters to go with it.
Yeah, it's like this is what happened to the day in the life stories. You don't need a backstory. You don't need anything. You just here's the characters, and this is the thing that they're dealing with.
I mean, that's what made Emerald Knights so good, right? Emerald Knights is
that one was good, yeah.
The best Green Lantern movie they've ever done. They don't they don't even go through the origin that you get is the origin for the core itself. But outside of that, every single story, it's an anthology, right? Every single story is telling a tale of a different lantern, but they give you just enough of the character of each lantern that everything that happens in that little bitty self-contained snippet fully makes sense.
Got my DVD.
There you go. But yeah, I mean, it's great. It's a fantastic little movie that they're able to do, and you can do it with tons of characters all throughout that one story. And yeah, but Lantern's a little bit different just because of the fact that, again, it can be anybody. You can tell so many stories with them, and yet I can't get one, damn it. I get an animated movie like once a decade, and that's the best I can hope for.
We got that horrible Ryan Reynolds movie.
That was like 2011 when that one came out, I think, right? Something like that. 2010.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then now we have the John Stewart one coming out, which I'm hoping is good. I've seen some stuff for it that makes me a little worried.
Did
but
you like the Green Lantern cartoon that came out back in like 2010, around the same freaking time, like the TV series?
The
Oh,
animated
right
series?
on. Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
the animated series was awesome.
Oh, I
It was
loved it.
so
Yeah.
good. And what made me so sad was, we got half the season and then they found out they were being canceled. And so they just said, all right, guys, we're putting pedal to the metal and we're doing everything. Like they ran through so much stuff. You got to the end where they're fighting Anti-Monitor, the Manhunters. They defeat the Anti-Monitor, but then he gets taken over by the Robot Girl. And it was such a good series. And it again, it breaks my heart that my boy can't get any love because like I've always hoped ever since Justice League Unlimited, like Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, that Lantern would get more love and that they would do him justice because like every single episode of that show was like, all right, sweet, Jon Stewart's in this episode. I wonder what he's gonna do. He's probably gonna either create a giant bubble to catch people or just shoot random green lasers from his ring. But that's more than fine. I'm good. It's Lantern. I'm getting him on screen and he's doing stuff. And then Emerald Knights came in, First Flight came out, Emerald Knights came out. I'm like, all right, they're starting to get this. The TV series came out. It was still kind of muted with the amount of constructs and things that they did, but it's like, all right, they seem to be finding their stride. And then my boy just disappeared and he's been on a milk carton ever since. And I just want him back, guys. Please get me more Lantern. I'll pay you money. I promise.
I'll pay too. I'll help out. I mean, it may be like going to see the movie if it happens a couple times, or I'll definitely buy it on Blu-ray and digital. But you got to do it. But they don't ever hear us.
No.
So
I've been crying into that dark void for a long time.
Yeah. Well, we can go ahead and wrap up. I guess it's that time right now where we can do the shout out of the episode. And I'm going to give that to Di. Do you want to go ahead and shout out a YouTuber that you think needs to get recognized right now?
Okay, yeah. Okay. We could do J Chip. Yeah. I think we could do J Chip.
Okay.
He's a good one. I like his anime reviews and all that stuff. So I think me and him agree on a lot of anime stuff. I need to talk more to him about the stuff because I know we have like one of the same favorite villains, and that's Don Quito del Flamingo from One Piece. But at least One Piece villains. And so yeah, I'll definitely recommend his channel for the shout out. Yes, and let me see, since I've been online. Yes, and he did just post his IGPX anime review yesterday. So yeah, I need to watch that. But yeah, definitely cool channel and a cool dude.
Yeah, he definitely does video game reviews as well, and really good anime discussion topics. And he's actually been on one of Di's streaming episodes. You should check that one out as well. But he's a great dude. We will probably doing the 50th episode live either on the 12th or the 19th. It'll probably be at 10 p.m. and that's a Friday. So we'll definitely catch y'all then. My dad will definitely be on that. We'll figure out the roster of guests and the topics prior to the episode. We'll probably do a test stream next Friday, not this Friday coming up, just to try to see how everything's going to work. Just us discussing things or whatever. But the official 50th episode will be live. But yeah, if there's anything we discussed between like the actors who passed, David Warner and Palm Servino, and then you got us talking about anime and things, and just diversity, culture, and the pop culture history and all that stuff, whatever we were just discussing at the end of this episode, let us know below. If you think our take is completely wrong, please tell us down below. If you have a topic that you want us to talk about next week, let us know as well. We'll catch you later. Have a great one.